So GarbAugust is going to be here in less than a month, and I need to try and find the trashiest book on my shelves. Not an easy task, not an easy task, but let's see what I can find, because I'm sure I have tons that are going to fit for GarbAugust. Let's go back in the day, back to my days in high school, when life was simpler, when I didn't have to adult so much. Fear Street. Oh gosh. Trashy Fear Street. Fear Street was delightful, was it not? Teenage horror. Why anyone ever moved to this town, I do not know. These books were fantastic. I mean, but you can't talk about Fear Street without talking about Christopher Pike, the master. Fantastic. Again, teenage horror. These books were amazing. Trashy, but not quite trashy enough. We can go trashier. If we're talking about books set in high school, Sweet Valley High, I mean, come on. Teenage soap opera at its finest. Absolute finest. I mean, twin girls, perfect size 6 figures, blue eyes, blonde hair, living in Southern California, and dealing with things, that every high schooler deals with. Serial killers, murderers, plane crashes, all the things. This one in particular, a favorite of mine in the series, I might add, where a girl who looks identical to the twins travels all the way across the country to find one of them and kill one of them so she can take over her life. Oh, and it takes place at Christmas, and the book has a step back. Brilliantly trashy, but I think we can get trashier. You want to go up a notch? Sweet Valley Confidential. Book that was written that took place 10 years after Sweet Valley High. Essentially, this is Sweet Valley High with sex. Written for an adult audience. For those of us who read the series when we were younger and wanted to know what happened to the characters. And after reading this, sometimes you're better off not knowing. Still, a delightfully trashy read, but not quite trashy enough. Flowers in the Attic by V.C. Andrews, anybody? Yeah, I think a lot of us would say that this is definitely trash. Definitely. But as good as this is, I think we can go a bit trashier. How about, the queen of, trashy books? And I say this in the nicest way possible. I mean, Danielle Steele. She writes, the same book every time and just changes the location and characters' names. I shouldn't say that. I've never read a Danielle Steele, but have this one on my shelves. But I have heard that these are the epitome of trash literature. Still, I think we can go trashier. One that I have recently acquired that you're going to look and think, okay, this is fine. Teresa Mendoza's Breath of Magic. That looks delightful. It's a, romance novel about a woman who time travels. But where did she originally come from? She was a Puritan in Massachusetts. A Puritan romance. I still think we can go trashier than that. How about a little erotica? Can't go wrong with a little erotica. The Blaze line from Harlequin. Any of these would work. A Blazing Little Christmas. Jacqueline D'Alessandro, Joanne Rock, and Kathleen O'Reilly. A little tiny anthology. Yes, please. Sexy Times at the Holidays. You can't go wrong with that. Katie Robert. You cannot talk about erotica without talking about Katie Robert, Electric Idol. Her second book in the Olympus Gods. Don't know why I just drew a blank there. I am not generally one for this type of writing. But these books are fabulous. Trashy. Definitely trashy. But we can still do better. How about some delightful titles and plots? Daddy Warlock by Jacqueline Diamond. This is essentially Harry Potter's parents. They meet at a party, they have an affair, she ends up pregnant, and now her son, can make things levitate. Delightful. Delightful. We can get trashier. A Harlequin Gothic romance. Secret at Orient Point by Patricia Warner. Ghosts. Gothic. A good Gothic romance. Hello. Yes. Like Rebecca, but trashier. But I still think we can go trashier. Killer Secrets by Marilyn Papineau. Looks like a pretty straightforward romance. Title's pretty good, what have you. let me just read the first line at the back of this book for you lovely people. Mia Ramirez has never stopped trying to outrun the sins of her serial killer parents. That's all I'm going to say. I think we can go trashier. How about Pirate Bride by Elizabeth August? A Harlequin historical romance. The back with, you know, a woman pirate? Yes, please. Or how about The French Passion by Diane Dupont, a voluptuous novel of perilous pleasures. This is an oldie but a goodie. Look at that picture, you guys. Brilliant. Trashier. We can go trashier. Alien Corn by Rachel Lindsay. I have absolutely no clue what this book is about. I literally bought it for the title, and I think you would have too if you're watching this video. Like, come on. That's brilliant. But the one that I have located most recently in my searching for trashy books is this delightful one. Master of Comos by Charlotte Lamb. An old 1970s Harlequin romance. And why would I be saying that this one is trashy? The relationship is between two cousins. So why not? So not only are you getting a category romance book, which I will be the first to defend and say that no, these books are not trashy at all. They are delightful. But there are some older ones that definitely fit the trashy category. So this is going to check a lot of boxes. You know, you got a category romance, you got some smut, and you got a little bit of a family relationship, if you will. Kissing cousins. So yeah, out of all of these, I mean, this one, yeah, this is, and it's just such a short, quick book. Trash. Absolute trash. Anyway, guys, hi, my name is Sarah, and this is my channel, The Bookish Knitter. Just a little bit of a fun thing to start this video off. I am here to talk about, of course, GarbAugust. I am so thrilled that I was asked to co-host this year. I did participate last year, and yeah, it's going to be so much fun. There are a huge amount of co-hosts this year, and everyone will be linked in the description box below. The graphics that I'm about to show were actually created by Kelsey over at Slime and Slashers. Her channel will also be listed below, so check her out. There is also going to be a playlist that I'm going to link that one of the other ladies, Crystal, I believe, who's a co-host, has created a playlist for all of the GarbAugust videos. So if you guys are just looking to see those, you can check that out. I kind of wanted to come on here. Most of you who watch my channel know who I am, but in case you're new, I wanted to say hi. I am not what you're typically going to find in a GarbAugust host. Being said, I am the romance reader. I am the Harlequin Mills and Boon romance reader. The books behind me on these shelves are 90% romance. I love a good romance novel, and as much as I love romance, I will admit that occasionally they can be quite trashy. They can also be quite sexy, which is delightful. So yeah, I am going to be the one if you are looking for anything romance related for GarbAugust. I'm going to be doing some videos this month, some, what do you call them? Recommendation videos this month, and I am very much looking forward to that. So the way that GarbAugust works is through the entire month of August. Olly created it. It's fantastic. There is a bingo card that I'm going to pop up right here for you guys. And yeah, it's fantastic. I love it. And there is also weekly prompts, and I will put the prompt card up here as well. So here are the four weekly prompts, and I go through them with you guys. So first of all, for week number 1, we have category romance or men's adventure. So essentially, this is my jam. If you want information on category romance, I am going to be doing an entire video talking about recommendations for GarbAugust with category romance. So please do tune into that in a couple of weeks if you're looking for something to fit that prompt. Week number 2 is Paperbacks from Hell or Vintage Smut. Smut, if you will. Now, Paperbacks from Hell, to my understanding, is a book that was compiled by someone, and it's all these old horror paperbacks, my assumption. I'm not a horror reader. I might, if I can find one, I might try one. We shall see. If you guys have any recommendations, please let me know. But vintage smut, right? I don't even know what year this came out. Okay, well, the author of this book received a PhD from Stanford. So, you know, that's a thing. This came out in 1977, so it's older than me, so I'm going to consider it to be vintage. It's 2 years older than me. I'm going to consider it to be vintage. Number 3, week number 3, we have a novelization or a book by a famous person, whether it be a biography, well, it would be an autobiography, not a biography, a memoir, or just a fiction book written by a famous person. And in novelization, I think back in the day, I used to read, because I was such a big fan of the X-Files. I used to read, they did like these novelizations of like shows and what have you. Star Trek, I know, is a big thing. Star Wars does these as well. So yeah, but for me though, I think I'm going with a book by a famous person because this was talked about in the GarbAugust message boards. And everybody's like, oh my God, that sounds horrible. And I was like the only one who thought, that sounds really good, actually. And it's This Bird Has Flown by Susanna Hoffs. Now, this is a person I did not know who she was, mainly because I'm too young to know that. I don't know. But she is the co-founder of the Bangles from 1981. So maybe not too young. It was after I was born, but I clearly wasn't listening to the Bangles when I was 2. So, you know, but I am kind of really excited about this. So this is like what I mean by about a book by a famous person. Tom Hanks, I know, has put out a couple books as well. So that's a thing. And last but not least is week number 4 with Anything Goes. And for me, for Anything Goes, I think for that final week is when I am going to dive back into stuff like Christopher Pike and Fear Street, you know, end the month off with a little bit of, you know, YA horror novels, because this is about my limit for spooky. I don't like blood and guts and gore horror, which I know a lot of people do. That's not my jam. This is kind of my thing. Same with Fear Street. You know, I am excited about these. So anyway, guys, like I said, this was just the video to announce that GarbAugust is coming back. All the links, like I said, are in the description box below. Please do check them out. And stay tuned. At least 2 videos this month I'm going to be doing on recommendations for books to read that are more my jam. Stuff that I can write, which is the great thing about having so many different hosts, right? Is that you're going to get a ton of recommendations from a ton of different people, and there's going to be something for everybody, I think. So yeah. And just to say, this doesn't need to be said, but I'm going to say it anyway. I'm not saying, none of us in GarbAugust are saying that these books are bad. These are great books, but essentially we want a month that we can unapologetically read whatever we want and not be judged for it. Every month does not have to be Jane Austen or, you know, Charles Dickens. And there's nothing wrong with those authors. They are fantastic. And there are some people that's what they prefer to read. But you know what? If you want to read a book about a pirate bride of the month of August, go for it. Go for it, my friends. So anyway, until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.